Today on Omni Garage we're going to be playing with a couple of different Ryobi tools from the 18-volt range and a continuation of our Ryobi series that we're doing on the channel. And what we're going to be doing is trimming the hedge that we've got to my right here. We need to bring this down about 1 metre, but I also want to take some of the growth off the front of it as well to encourage it to keep growing higher. So the two tools that we've got here, the one specifically that we're probably going to be using for the majority of the job today is the Telescopic Pole Hedge Trimmer. So this unit here comes in 3 different pieces. So you've got your main piece here, which has your trigger. You've also got your main head, which has your actual blades on it. And then what's quite handy is that you can use it just with those two, or Ryobi throw in an extension pole here. And when you've got all of these 3 together, you have a reach of 2.9 meters. That's vertical reach. Obviously, when you are picking up the actual main unit and twisting it, you lose a little bit of that reach. Your 2.9 meters reach is when this is in a straight vertical form, but 2.9 meters should get us around most hedges. And then the other tool that we're going to be using is just the standard 18-volt hedge trimmer. And this one here is pretty much the same, slightly longer cutting length, probably about an extra 10 centimeters on the blade on this one here. And this can go from 90 degrees, 45 degrees, 0, where we're probably going to be using it today, 45 and 90 again on the other side. A lot of the newer Ryobi hedge trimmers come with a quite cool accessory. It's called a hedge sweep. These two didn't, because I've had these for a couple of years now, but basically that's an attachment that you put on the main blade, which helps you when you're cutting across the top of a hedge for it to sweep all of the cuttings away to the side. We're not going to have to worry about that too much today because we're not dealing with too big a hedge. So the way that this works, I'll put the full extension on. You can slot the first bit in, twist this to tighten it, and then we can bring that back and then attach the main piece. And what I've found when I have used it like this in the past is that it does feel quite unstable. You do have quite a bit of flex. I think you might be able to see there, quite a bit of flex in the extension piece. Ryobi also throw in a quite cool accessory for this, which is basically a shoulder strap. So when you are using this at full extension, you can support it with your shoulder a bit, because the weight of this, I think it's about 4.9 kilos without a battery. Obviously, it's quite an awkward thing to use when you're cutting a hedge. So I've just taken the extension off because I'm not going to be using it today, but what's quite cool is this can pivot. So you've got 4 different positions that you can pivot this into. So if we go all the way here, this is position number 1, so it's almost on an up angle. And then you can go around to position 2, which is directly upright, which is probably going to be quite handy if you want to come along and trim the face of a tree or a hedge and really kind of get in this way. And then you've got your 2 angulars. So you've got this one here, and it doesn't quite go down to, I guess, a flat angle, but it's pretty close here. And I guess the whole idea, if you look at that, we are on a bit of an upward angle, but the whole idea is when we're standing back from the hedge a couple of feet, and we're holding it like this, we do get that straight angle across the top of the hedge. So we won't need that pole extension today. We're fine with just a standard reach on here. In terms of cutting depth, this tool here by Ryobi is quoted to be able to get through 18 millimeters of branch. So a branch like this here, this thickness, we're going to have absolutely no problem cutting through. We can do probably about triple that, to be honest. And I've got through some pretty thick branches in the past using this. Run time on a tool like this, when it's paired with a 5 amp hour battery, which we do have down here, this tool is quoted to run for 80 minutes with a 5 amp hour battery, but that's on no load. So that would be me standing here like this. So real world use, no one is doing that. That's absolutely crazy. I find out of this 5 amp hour battery, if I'm cutting something like this, which is a griselinia hedge, I can probably get through a solid 20 to 25 minutes cutting before I need to change that battery. So probably highly recommended to have a couple of these batteries laying around so you can hot swap, because you're not going to get 80 minutes as quoted, because no one is standing there cutting a hedge like this. So what we'll do is we'll start from one end here, and we're going to just be taking the top off this hedge just to around the level of the fence behind it, and then we're going to come along the front and use the other hedge trimmer that we've got to chop that. And what you're going to want to do, actually, I had it in this position here, which was the most horizontal we could get, but the further you stand away from a hedge, you're wanting to change this and have it pointing further up, because obviously you standing further out from the hedge is going to get that even. So I'm standing probably about 3 meters out from the fence here, and I will just take this along the top. So as you can see there, for the most part, it will get through most branches. It really was just kind of hitting on the corner of some of those and not getting a clean cut, but it's pretty effortless to get it through. And that's it, that's our initial cut. Probably took about 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes max to get through the topping of the hedge there. What I'm going to do now is switch over to my other 18 volt tool, which is just the standard Ryobi Hedge Trimmer. So I'll switch the battery across, and I'm going to work along the front of this hedge here to get this all tidied up. Okay, so I'm switching over to my standard hedge trimmer now. So we'll flick the battery in there. And what is quite cool about this is you do have some adjustment on the angle of cut. So if you were going across the top of a hedge, you want to leave it in your 0 and basically just cutting like this. But what you can do is if you flick this button here, you can turn this handle. You can go to either a 45-degree angle cut, or you can flick it again and go to a 90-degree. So this keeps it really ergonomical, still in your hand's still under it, rather than, if this didn't have the adjustment, having to hold this on an awkward angle sideways. So what we'll do is we'll go to that 90-degree cut, and we'll come along the face of this hedge just to bring it in a little bit. It's really as easy as that. I've now trimmed the front of this hedge off, I've taken the top off, and it's taken me probably about 6 or 7 minutes all up to get it to this state. The thing that's going to take me the longest is the cleanup. But one tip that I didn't use today that I typically use in the past is what I would do is lay a tarpaulin down. So if I didn't have these blueberry trees here, I would put a tarp in front of the trees that I'm cutting and just let all of the leaves and all of the branches fall on that. Then you're able to just wrap it up and dump that into a bin nice and easily. This time, because of these delicate trees here, I'm going to have to come along and pick this up by hand. But that's a quick overview of the two Ryobi hedge trimmers. In particular, the one here that has really made my life easy when I'm doing tasks like this, to save me from having to get up on a ladder or up on a stool, is the Telescopic hedge trimmer. So this here I have owned for probably about 2 years now. Ryobi do say that you will require chain and bar oil with this, and I've been pretty neglectful of this. I haven't used any at all in the 2 years I've owned this machine. or in the 4 years I've owned this machine here. So it may hamper the cutting ability a little bit, but I found that it still works perfect for applications like what we've just done today. So both of these tools obviously use the 18-volt Ryobi battery, but this telescopic, being able to reach 2.9 meters with this extension arm is really handy. Though if you are using this extension bar, you're going to want to have that shoulder strap on, because as you saw earlier in the video, the flex in this machine is pretty pronounced, and you will tire out pretty quickly having to hold this vertically 3 meters above your head. So thank you so much for watching this this video. We have heaps more Ryobi tools that we've already tested on our channel, so check out the playlist up in the corner of the screen right now. But otherwise, please make sure you subscribe, because we do have heaps more Ryobi tools that we're going to be testing. In applications like this, we like to test these tools when we're actually using them, rather than sitting in a garage or a workshop telling you about the specs. We like to show you hands-on exactly how these work. So thank you for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next one.